Hello friends, I am Anonymous and you are listening to the horror story that too in my words. Friends, today's story is about a person living in Bangalore whose name is Rahul. So let's now listen to this story from Rahul's point of view. But before starting the story, as I always tell you guys that you must have heard many horror stories. But I am hopeful that after listening to our story today, you are really going to feel scared. I just request you that if you listen to this story completely, then you are really going to enjoy it a lot. Also, if you have come to our channel for the first time, then subscribe to the channel now. By doing this, we will come closer to you and the upcoming video will reach you easily. So without taking much time, let's quickly start our story. Friends, my name is Rahul and I am from Bangalore. The scary story that I am going to share with you today is about a very terrible and scary incident that happened in my life. After that scary incident, I have understood one thing in my life, that if something bad is going to happen to you, it will happen. No matter how cautious you are, but no one can avoid the incident that is going to happen to you. Something similar happened in my life one day. Actually, let me tell you that I work as an architect in Bangalore, and the scary incident that I am going to tell you about today happened about 2 years ago. At that time, I had just got married. It had been only about 6 months since my marriage, but after about a month of marriage, I came to Bangalore from my village with my wife and we both lived together in a flat in Bangalore. Once I get a call from my home that there is a small program at home for which we have to come to the village. Now, I had come to know about this about a week ago. Because I got a call from my mommy a week ago and she told me that there is a program at home on such and such date, so you have to reach here with your wife a day before that. Now my village was about 300 kilometers away from Bangalore and there was a great lack of basic necessities like network. There was network there, but my village was only nominally equipped with all the modern facilities of the city, and that is why I had to settle here in the city forever. Because by living in the village I was not able to do the work that I am able to do by living in the city. Now to go to the village, I always preferred to go by train because there is a railway station about 15 kilometers away from my village from where a local train coming from Bangalore passes, and I often used to go to my village by that train. That train always left the city at 6 in the evening and used to drop me at that railway station near my village around 11 in the night. Now the day when that scary incident happened with me, it was the day when I had left from my village with my wife. That day we had left for the railway station from our flat at 5 p.m. and since around 5 p.m. we were waiting for our 6 p.m. train to arrive. After waiting for a while, the 6 p.m. train arrives at the railway station. As soon as the train arrives, we sit on the seats we had booked and the train departs for its destination at the scheduled time. Along with the train, we were also moving towards our destination. It had been about an hour since the train had left when suddenly I started feeling some hunger in my stomach because I had not eaten anything while leaving the house and neither had I brought any food items with me which I could take out and eat at this time. That is why when I was talking to my wife while sitting in the train, I told her that I am feeling hungry. If the train stops at any station later, then tell me. I will bring some food for myself. On saying this, my wife tells me that I am also hungry, so when you bring something to eat for yourself, then bring something for me too. Then we were just passing the time talking like this when we heard a voice from the back of our bogie. Take hot tea with spices. On hearing this voice, my wife tells me that maybe a tea seller has come in the train. When she tells me this, I tell her that it is not a seller. It seems to me that it is a seller because at that time that voice was sounding like a woman. On hearing that voice, it seemed as if a woman was selling tea. In a short while, that voice started coming closer to us, and along with that, a woman was also coming towards us who was holding a kettle in one hand and a packet of small glasses in the other hand. When she comes to us, she also asks us, "Sir, would you like to have tea?" So I ask her if she has anything else to eat along with tea. When I asked her this, she happily told me that I have such things to eat that you will not be able to eat them, so I also got more excited and asked her why. What do you have? She said that if you see the food items, your eyes will be wide open and you will never be able to imagine that a woman selling tea can sell such things. When she said this to me, I thought that maybe she is talking about some intoxicating things. Often such people sell many intoxicants to people in the train on the pretext of tea and breakfast. At that time I tell her that no, I do not want anything like that. If you have tea, then give me tea only. On saying this, the woman selling tea pours tea in 2 small glasses and then takes money from both of us and goes ahead from there. I was just putting my tea glass aside and putting the change that the woman had given me back in my purse when suddenly my wife acts like vomiting. Seeing her doing this, I ask her what happened, and she spits something out of her mouth from the moving train and makes a weird face. When I ask her, she asks me if this is tea or something else, but to me it doesn't look like tea at all. Then she calls the departing woman back. When my wife calls out, that woman comes to us again. But as soon as that woman comes towards us, my wife shouts at her and starts saying that people like you sell useless things and extort money from people. You call this tea. Once you try it yourself, you will know whether it is worth calling tea or not. You should be ashamed. You earn money by selling to innocent people. If someone gets any disease, then it is not your cup of tea. Only the drinker has to face problems. Along with this, my wife says many other things to that woman. When I felt that my wife is getting very angry, then I try to calm her down. I was trying to calm my wife down when suddenly that tea-selling woman gets angry. Till now she was listening to whatever my wife was saying quietly, but as soon as I started calming my wife down, she started saying something to us in a very loud voice. But this time she was not talking to us in Hindi, rather it was some different kind of language which we were not able to understand at that time. But from the way she was talking, we came to know that she was also angry with us and was talking to us in anger. But at that time we were not able to understand in which language she was talking. But I was repeatedly gesturing at her to leave with my hand, but she was not willing to leave. Then while talking in that strange language, she started making such gestures that I felt as if she was threatening us. In a short while, I understood that she was probably threatening to kill us and was gesturing at us as if she was cutting someone with her hands. At that time, her face had also turned very red. Her eyes had come out more due to anger. Seeing her scary face, I was not able to do anything except waving my hand in front of her. But now her face had started changing completely due to anger, and a different kind of intoxication was visible in her eyes. But at last, while leaving, she repeatedly gestured with her hands and threatened us and left from there. But even while leaving, she was turning back and looking at us again and again. After she left, I started explaining to my wife that don't behave like this with such unknown people. Who knows when and where someone will take revenge on us. Then my wife tells me that what revenge will this woman take on us? In a short while our station will come. We will get down there and this. She will also get down at the station that is coming next from here. My wife tells me that you did not see how much tea she has served to us. I do not know what she had mixed in this tea due to which its taste has become like this. Now at that time our conversation ends there itself, and we sit quietly for some time. But when we were sitting quietly, suddenly my eyes go to the people sitting in our coach of the train, and after seeing them I noticed something. I saw that more than half the people in the train were fast asleep, but at that time I noticed one thing, that at that time only those people were fast asleep who were drinking tea from that woman just a while ago. That is, all those people who had taken tea from that woman with us were fast asleep now. I remember the faces of those people because when that woman was coming selling tea from him, I was continuously looking at her, and the reason for my continuous looking at her was that I was very hungry at that time, so I was staring at her to see when she would come to me and when I could take some food from her. Because of this, I had a good idea of which people had taken tea from that woman, and now all those people who had taken tea from that woman were in a deep sleep. Now I was seeing this when suddenly my wife tells me that my head is feeling very heavy and I am about to fall asleep. When my wife tells me this, I ask her how much of that tea you had drunk. Then she tells me that I had drunk it only once, and the moment I drank it for the first time, I found its taste very strange. Because of this, I threw all that tea out of the moving train. On hearing her say this, I think that if my wife had drunk tea from that glass only once, then was the tea having such an effect on her that she too had started feeling sleepy like the other people. This means that the woman had really mixed something in the tea due to which all the people would fall asleep in an intoxicated state. But why would she have done this to all these people? I was still not able to understand this. But then in a short while, along with my wife, I too fell asleep and we both slept there in the train itself. But when I was sleeping in the train, while I was sleeping, suddenly while breathing, I felt a smell which was somewhat familiar, and as soon as I felt that smell, I suddenly became more nervous. Because at that time I felt as if someone had passed by us, but the reason for my panic was not that someone had passed by us, but the reason for my panic was that when I feel that person passing by, I feel the same smile. Just a while ago when that tea-selling woman came, that smell was coming when that woman came. That means that smell was coming from that woman, and now when I was sleeping again, the same smell around me again meant that that woman was somewhere near us again. That is why when I suddenly open my eyes and look at everyone in the train, I do not see that woman anywhere. But when I was sleeping with my eyes closed, I felt as if she had passed by us. This happens to me 3 to 4 times before my village station arrives, i.e. as soon as I try to sleep and close my eyes, I feel as if a shadow has passed by us, but as soon as I open my eyes and look, I cannot see anything anywhere in the train compartment. In the beginning, I guess it. But when it started happening to me again and again, after that I let it sleep. I got up and sat on the same seat. After waiting for more than an hour, the station next to my village comes where we had to get down. That is why I wake up my wife from sleep and tell her that the station has come. Now we have to get down. Then after that we take our luggage and get down at the station. Now we had just walked about 10 to 15 steps after getting down at the station. Then suddenly we hear a voice from behind saying, "Wait, take me along with you. Where are you going alone here?" As soon as I hear that voice, I suddenly look towards my wife. But the way I look at my wife also suddenly looks towards me, and she asks me whether you also heard the same thing that I heard. So I also tell her that yes, I also heard something from behind. But the reason for our surprise was not that we heard a voice, but the reason for our surprise was that the voice was somewhat familiar, and it sounded like the voice of the tea seller who was talking to us while giving us tea. But when we both turned back and looked, we did not see that woman anywhere on that station. After that my wife asks me what would that woman have come so far to get. She gets down at one station from another and then goes back to the next station selling tea in the train coming from there. What would she have to do by coming to this deserted village station? Now we sat on an iron chair at the station while talking like this. At that time about 4 or 5 people had got down at that station along with us. Because it was night time and so many passengers did not get down at that small village station. Now after a while that train leaves from there again and goes towards its next destination, and as soon as that train leaves, that entire station becomes deserted again. By that time it was around 11:15 at night. Apart from the light of 4 or 5 bulbs, there was no light visible anywhere else at that railway station, and it was pitch dark all around. Now I call my mommy while sitting on that iron chair and tell her to send someone to the station as we have already reached the station. So she asked us to sit here and wait for about half an hour and told us that in a short while someone from home will come to pick us up. We were still sitting there when suddenly I feel the need to go to the toilet. That is why I tell my wife to sit here for a while. I will come back after going to the toilet in 2 minutes. So my wife tells me that I cannot sit here alone at this time of the night. You can do it after going home. So I say to her, what are you talking about? It will take us about an hour to reach home and I cannot control myself till then. That is why my wife tells me to come early. So I tell my wife to come early and get up from there and cross the railway station tracks and go to the other toilet. I was going to the toilet in a corner when suddenly I hear something in my ears, on hearing which my toilet stopped in the middle because on hearing that sound I was so scared that I thought that maybe something wrong is going to happen to us today. Because I was just going to the toilet there when I hear a sound from a distance next to me, and as soon as I hear that sound, I suddenly turn around and look at him. When I turn around and look, I see that on those railway station tracks, I see someone going towards a darkness far away from me, and that is where the sound was coming from. But when I try to look at that person carefully, I understand after a while that this is the same woman who was selling tea in that train with whom my wife had sex, because at that time I can see the kettle she was carrying in her hand in the dense darkness of that night. And even while going in that direction in the darkness, she was shouting loudly that take tea, hot tea, spice tea. Now seeing her shouting like this and going towards that darkness, I get more scared because I was not able to understand at all to whom that woman was selling tea here at this deserted station of this village. That is why I start running towards my wife from there itself with hushed steps. But when I was going in that direction, from a distance, I see that iron bench on which just a while ago I was sitting with my wife.
I had come sitting on the bench. But now when I look at that bench, I don't see my wife sitting there, and I run towards that bench, and after going near the bench, I see that our luggage bag is kept there. But my wife is not at that place. Now I look around, but I could not see my wife anywhere far and wide. But then suddenly the tracks go down, and I see that my wife is walking towards those tracks, so I run behind her and try to stop her. But at that time, looking at her, it seemed as if she was not able to hear my voice. Then I get down on the tracks and go near her, and when she was walking ahead, I suddenly put my hand on her shoulder and stop her. But as soon as I put my hand on her shoulder, a voice comes out of her mouth that take tea, hot tea, spiced tea. Now, on hearing this voice, my body started trembling because that voice was not of my wife, but it was of the same woman whom I had seen going towards that darkness a while ago and whom we had met in the train too. Now, as soon as I put my hand on her shoulder, she calls me loudly like that. And then suddenly I turn around. But as soon as she turns, I get such a terrible shock that I jump up in fear and fall on the tracks because from behind she was looking like my wife, but as soon as she turned towards me, she was not my wife, but she was the same scary woman who was selling tea to us in the train. Now as soon as I turn around, she smiles in a strange way. But as soon as she turns me, I jump and fall down. But even after I fall down, she turns again in the same voice and turns the kettle in her hand towards me and says, "Take the tea, hot tea, spiced tea," and after saying this she starts smiling in a strange way. At that time I understood that she is not an ordinary woman because just a while ago she was looking like my wife from the back and now I can see her in this form from the front. But at that time I was thinking that if she is not my wife then where is my wife, because at that time I did not find her sitting even on that iron bench. Now I was getting more worried about her. I was thinking this when suddenly that woman disappears from in front of me and it becomes completely dark there. I could not see anything around. But by that time I was so scared that my whole body was sweating, but then somehow I managed to get up from there. But as soon as I get up, I see that now that woman is going in the same direction where that iron bench was placed and where our luggage bag was also kept. But when I see her going, I see that my wife is sitting on that iron bench at the same place, so seeing this I again start thinking that how can this be possible? Just a while ago when I went there, that iron bench appeared completely empty to me. But now my wife is sitting on that bench, but the one towards which that scary woman was going towards that bench was my wife's back and her face was on the other side. Due to this, she was not aware of that woman's arrival, but that woman was walking towards my wife in a strange manner. Now seeing that woman going towards my wife, I get more scared because I had come to know that she is not an ordinary woman and she can cause some harm to my wife. That is why I walk from there. First I am above the tracks and then towards my wife to save her, but before I could reach her, that scary woman started dragging her from behind by pulling her hair and taking her with her. Now seeing this, I get more scared and I reach very fast to that woman and try to pull my wife's hair from her hands. But then suddenly she pulls my wife's hair but starts laughing in a very shrill voice, and while laughing, she again turns her face towards us and says, "Take tea, hot tea, spiced tea." Seeing her doing this with us, we got more scared. And while saying this, her appearance had completely changed. Now she was looking like a witch from an ordinary woman. Her face was completely covered with wrinkles. Also, her eyes had become completely red and her lips were now looking burnt like coal. Also, the skin of her body had completely changed and she had taken the form of a very fierce and scary witch. We started trembling on seeing that form. Then she tells us that you people did not do right by behaving so rudely with me in the train. If you people did not like the tea, you could have told me calmly, but you insulted me in front of everyone. Because of you shouting so loudly, no one took tea from me later. Do you even know how much loss I have suffered? Saying this, she turns the tea kettle towards us and says that you wanted to know what I am selling in this kettle, because it did not look like tea to you. So I will show you what I keep in this kettle that I give to people in the name of tea. Saying this to us, she lifts the kettle towards us and opens its lid and turns it upside down. As soon as she turned the kettle upside down, something red like blood started falling out of the kettle, and along with that blood, something suddenly fell out of the kettle, and on seeing it, both of us jumped 2 steps back out of fear. Because nothing else but a small child's severed head had fallen out of that kettle, and looking at that head, it seemed as if the child must have been around 2.5 to 3 years old, and she had dipped that severed head in that blood in the kettle, and she was giving that blood to people in the form of tea. Now on seeing this, we were very scared. I was in such a state at that time that I felt as if I would get a heart attack right there due to fear, because at that time in the dense darkness of that night, when that incident was happening with us at that deserted railway station, there was no one around. At that time we were finding all that very scary. Then after that the witch tells us that just like this child, now I will kill you all and put your head in this kettle and serve tea made from your blood to people, and the tea made from your blood will be more delicious. Saying this, she starts laughing in a strange way. At that time my wife was in such a state that looking at her it seemed as if she was going to faint in a few moments, but at that time I could not do anything there because my own condition was such that I was not able to understand what should I do so that we can escape from the clutches of this witch. Then suddenly that witch threw the kettle in her hand there with force, and after throwing that kettle she suddenly jumps towards my wife and grabs the hair of her head and pulls her from my side towards her. At that time my wife was screaming loudly due to pain and was asking me to save her, but then that witch tells me that she had scolded me so much in that train, so now I will make her such that her soul will remember this even in her next 7 births. Who raised her? Now after saying this she started dragging my wife away from there at a fast speed. The direction in which she was dragging my wife was completely dark beyond that railway station, but I was unable to move from there even if I wanted to. I was just standing like a pillar and continuously watching that woman dragging my wife away. Then after a while, when she was dragging my wife away, she disappeared in the darkness. But even then I was unable to move any part of my body. My body was still there, but then suddenly I see a light coming from behind me at that railway station, and in a short while a bike comes and stops near me. No one else was sitting on that bike but my uncle's bike from the village, but even after it came and stopped near me I was still staring at that side. The side where that witch had taken my wife to that darkness. My uncle's bike asks me that, "Hey brother, what happened? Why are you here like this?" But I do not give him any answer. Then suddenly he shakes me by touching me, and as soon as he shakes me I come to my senses. There is a movement in my body, and after that I tell him the whole incident that happened there, how that witch has taken my wife to that darkness. I tell him this too. From my mouth, he says. He also got very scared after hearing all this. But then he tells me to sit behind him on the bike and we will go ahead and see. After that I sit with him on the bike and start going in the darkness in which that witch was dragging my wife. We had just come about 1 kilometer ahead from there when in the light of the bike's headlight we see that scary woman going, and she had held someone with her hands. And she was dragging him along. She was none other than my wife. Then we stop our bike and go near her, but while going near her we were feeling very scared, and while going on the bike I was asking my uncle that how will we get your Bobby out of the clutches of that witch. Then he tells me that you don't worry about her. I have some such solution by which that witch will not be able to do anything to us, and we will easily get Bobby from her. Then on the moving bike, he tells me that there is an amulet on one of my arms. You open it and give it to me. At that time, I was not able to understand what he was going to do. But I do as he says. Then we go near that witch and suddenly stop our bike. But before stopping the bike, my uncle had told me that you should try to engage that witch in your talks. Do not get scared by seeing her scary form. Rather face her. Until then I will somehow take Bobby from her clutches. Then after reaching there, we do exactly the same. After reaching that place, that witch laughs looking at me, turns towards me and says to me that you have come again. Then I tell her that I will not let you take my wife to kill her in this way. I was trying to engage her in conversation when suddenly my uncle's man with me went from behind and entangled that amulet around the neck of that witch, and with that amulet around her neck, that witch had put my wife's hair on her head with her own hands, and she started shaking there in a strange way. At that time she was shaking in such a way as if she was getting an electric current, but then my uncle tells me to get out of here quickly, and he starts the bike and turns it back, and then first I make my wife sit on the bike. After that I sit on the bike, and then we leave from there driving the bike as fast as we can. But when we left from there, I turned back and saw that the witch had now fallen down on the ground and was shaking in a strange way. But by that time my wife's body was completely peeled off and she was in a lot of pain because of that. Then while walking on the road I asked my uncle that you put your amulet on that witch's neck, then what will happen to you now? So he tells me that there is nothing to worry about. I have 2 amulets given by Pir Baba, one of which I have tied on my waist and one was tied on my hand. Then after that we somehow reach home in our village. And as soon as we reach home, we tell our family members whatever had happened to us. So the program that was going on at that time, there is silence in the whole program after listening to our talk and a ghost surrounds us. Then after that our family members do many tricks on us so that the soul of that scary witch does not follow us again. That night my wife and my life were saved because of that amulet of Pir Baba, otherwise anything could have happened to us that night. So friends, this was our story today. How did you like the story? Please tell me by commenting in the comment box. Along with this, I want to tell you one thing, that never trust anyone blindly in life. Because the more you try to do good to any person, the more that person will misunderstand you. If you think that with your help a person will move forward in his life, then on some small thing that person will feel that you are doing wrong to him or you are taking advantage of him, whereas you will not have anything like this in your mind towards him. But still people will think like this about you. And even if you want, you will not be able to prove yourself right in the eyes of those people, but in the end those people will make you realize that you do not mean anything to them and they will take away your respect in 2 minutes. So that is why I want to tell all of you that never try to help anyone more than necessary, otherwise the other person will feel that this is someone who is going to take advantage of me. That is why he is helping me, whereas you may be helping him selflessly, but the other person will feel something wrong in that too. I know that now you must be thinking that why am I telling you this as soon as the story is over? So let me tell you that I have stopped that special guest system because many people were not liking it and I will not do anything without your consent. But I have decided that from today onwards, at the end of every story, I will tell you something that will relate to the life of many of you somewhere, and that thing will have some meaningful meaning. Friends, after this, we start the same series about which I told you and all those people who had commented after listening to the last story and told their name and place. Now I take the names of those people. So first of all, Niraj Kumar is from Motihari, Asghar Ali is from Gorakhnath, Vikas Dubey is from Abhishek Kakriti is from Dehradun, Uttarakhand. Nishant Buddha is from Nepal, Alamgir is from West Bengal, Tanya is from West Bengal, Alicia is from West Bengal, Safiq Chauhan is from Mumbai, Aman is from Gorakhpur, Vasudev is from Bihar, Nitish Nishad is from Prayagraj, Naveen Kashyap is from Haryana, Prashant is from Nashik, Maharashtra, Sukhdev Mukesh Garg and Ramniwas are from Jodhpur, Rashid Khan is from Bartapur, Rajasthan, Lalit Sagar is from Madhya Pradesh, Golu Badaria is from Bhopal, Shanam Akhtar is from Rawalpindi, Pakistan, Rupa is from Bihar, Kartik is from Maharashtra, Manisha Sandla is from Maharashtra, Rana Jmal is from Maharashtra, Manjeet and Muskin are from UK. Is from Russia. Karen Loani is from Doha, Qatar. Gauri Shankar is from Shadara, Delhi. Muhammad Umar is from Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. Karen Singh is from Madhya Pradesh. Anita Das, Deepti Das and Sumit Das are from Bhajanpura, Delhi. Rocky is from Mumbai. Sonu is from Punjab. Ashok Thakur is from Gujarat. Rahul Gupta is from Bhajanpura, Delhi.
Please like and subscribe.
Akash is from Uttar Pradesh. Rajeshri is from Mumbai. Sapna Sharma is from Faridabad. Bhaskar, Mahesh and Priya are from Mumbai. Motilal Sharma is from Punjab. Vikas is from Mumbai. Bola is from Nepal. Gulshan Kumar is from Delhi. Nadeem Handa is from Punjab. Arti Kawanchi is from Madhya Pradesh. Bimji Bai is from Gujarat. Deepak and Praveen are from Hisar. Yash Jayant, Sanjay Saba is from Hisar. Vishal is from Nepal. Akash Roy is from Kota. Samudra Shrestha is from Kathmandu, Nepal. Krishna is from Jivan Monica is from Manipur. Dhruv Goswami is from Mumbai. Sheila Adityanath is from Assam. Gaurav is from Maharashtra. Amit is from Punjab. Poonam Sharma is from Punjab. Abhishek Vishwakarma is from Prayagraj. Anju is from Rajasthan. Vikas Joshi is from Nepal. Ramesh Kumar is from Amritsar. Punjab. Virendra is from Kullu Manali. Rajveer Bana is from Dudal. Aksiraj Singh is from Udaipur. Ketrajit and Priyanka are from Rohit. Raj are from Bihar. Sakshi is from Prayagraj. Suresh is from Assam. Anil is from Mumbai. Kalpana is from Maharashtra. Ahmed is from Modi Bagh. Maharashtra. Muskan is from Himachal. Vijay Yadav is from Faridabad. Haryana. Kripkaran is from Bangalore. Maria is from Singapore. Aladdin is from Kolkata. Ilyas Hussain is from Udaipur. Rajasthan. Purna Chand is from Balotra. Rajasthan. Rameshwar is from Maharashtra. Shir Singh is from Prayagraj. Uttar Pradesh. Vishal Rana is from Punjab. Raju Worker is from Mumbai. Kuldeep is from Assam. Avinash Kumar is from Patna. Masum is from Faridabad. Delhi. Sachin Pihelwan is from Haryana. Tejal is from Gujarat. Rajendra is from Gujarat. Surendra Kumar is from Vijayanagar. Rajasthan. Seema Rawat is from Gujarat. Hakam Singh is from Italy. Sambai is from Gujarat. Manisha is from Rajasthan. Monisha is from Delhi. Alicia Jid is from Shaikapura, Pakistan. Ravi is from Surat, Gujarat. Sadanand Nayak is from Sajid Khan is from Shekhapura, Pakistan. Ganesh Kumar is from Chennai. Mr. Malik is from Delhi. Dinesh is from Madhya Pradesh. Ramesh Chaudhary is from Madhya Pradesh. Ravi is from Pune. Ladu Chaudhary is from Ludhiana. G.K. Mohan is from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And lastly, Ram Gurjar is from Indore. So friends, these were the names of those people who commented on the previous story and told us from where they listened to the story. Also, if anyone's name has been left out, please tell us by commenting. Their name will be mentioned in tomorrow's video. I have tried my best not to leave out anyone's name. Also, if you guys have not yet subscribed to the channel, then quickly subscribe to the channel.